Hello everyone and welcome to this new video and welcome aboard the ID Buzz, Volkswagen's brand new 100% electric utility vehicle. In the last video, I toured the ID Buzz's exterior and interior and discussed customization. If you missed it, the link is in the description and this video. We'll customize it to store toolboxes. So the idea is to make compartments to store toolboxes. I'm taking advantage of having the ID Buzz cargo to prepare the compartments. I said prepare because after, they'll move to another ID Buzz cargo owned by an electrician colleague. I'm prepping the base, then I'll disassemble them. When he gets his ID Buzz cargo, we'll reassemble them inside. There will definitely be some modifications to make, making them wider, making them taller, making them shorter, making them narrower. Whatever it is, we'll adapt and we'll have to see over time how it turns out. You won't get the boxes perfect on your first try in a utility vehicle. Only with time will you know if the setup works for you. Or if you need to add certain features like drawers or shelves, whatever it is, we'll figure it out. So I'm going to use 18mm plywood. Why 18mm? I have some in stock. You can use 15mm medium density fiberboard melamine or even OSB, whatever you prefer. We're just making some boxes for a utility vehicle, not converting a camper van. Tape, so I won't use it in this video, but when we do the final setup in the actual van, we'll use tape. It's the same one I used under the rails for drywall panels to reduce noise between the plastic and metal. It doesn't matter, you get the idea. So I'm also going to base it on the Milwaukee Packout boxes, because that's what they use, and since I have some, it works out perfectly. But they also use sustainers, so maybe I'll base it on the sustainer as well. I'll see if they can at least store Milwaukee Packout boxes, or just sustainers. You'll see over time, like I said anyway, it's bound to evolve. However, there is one thing that's essential. That's what he asked me for. To make a large shelf on top so he can work and also put organizers on it. He uses many, so I'll ensure he can open and reach in without removing them. He can grab what he needs by placing it on the floor. So, to secure the cabinets, I'll use the tie-down rails you see with the pins. You'll see that in a moment. We're going to avoid making holes in the bodywork and the floor. This van was lent to me by Volkswagen, so I'll avoid damaging it. And it's the same for my colleague's van. If we can avoid making holes in the bodywork, that's even better. For several reasons, especially for resale. If one day you sell your vehicle, at least the person coming to see it won't say, "Oh, but there are holes everywhere, that's not okay for me." These aren't original holes, they're ones you'll drill. Someone might say, there are holes, everything must be filled, just to get you to lower your price, even if they don't actually care. Another reason is if one day I have to take the boxes apart to modify them, for example, because he tells me, actually, I've changed the format, the toolbox. Well, now, we'll be able to take them out easily by removing the pins from the tie-down rails. I can take the boxes out easily. Another reason is if we need the full volume, we can just remove all the boxes and load up. It's a different situation. We can secure 150 kg here, 100 kg on the other side, and 150 kg on the partition. Since it's just for two boxes, we have plenty of capacity. Well, I made myself a copier. Out of a scrap piece of plywood, a hole, a pencil. You cut it to a point, but not too sharp so the tip doesn't go into all the grooves. I don't need to copy the grooves. I don't care. I'm just going straight so a compass works perfectly. If you start a bit crooked, the shape will duplicate but won't align. You'll need to cut at the top or bottom, and cutting the bottom raises your shape. What will you end up with? It's best to use a contour gauge and a square, sliding the square along the board. I'll show you soon. With a contour gauge, you slide it to instantly copy the shape, getting it right the first time. These tools really exist. You see this model? I'll put the link in the description. It's perfect, it has little wheels, but it's not long enough. The vehicle's paneling is too deep for this contour gauge. That's why I made one myself. We bring the box to where we want to make the furniture. The addition will go here. We use plywood to make the addition. So like I said, plywood or medium density fiberboard. You use whatever you want. Another box to hold the plywood. The template I made myself. The contour gauge. So we're going to duplicate the shape of the paneling onto the board. We're going to slide it all along. I'll use a square to help. We'll slide the square and the contour gauge. And once that's done, once we've got our outline, we cut everything out with a jigsaw. Well, it's not too bad. We could always improve and fine-tune it, but you have to remember it's just for putting toolboxes. I'm not fitting out a camper van here, so for me, it's perfectly fine. The sides are finished. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1 box, 2 boxes for this side, the one over here. You get the idea. I based it on this one. A quick cut with the jigsaw. I've already marked everything out, of course. Then a cut with the jigsaw to remove the bulk of it. Using the router and guide bushing on the bit, I copied the shape and now have my second side, so both boxes are ready. We'll need to put a back panel in, but not all the way to the top because I need to keep the tie-down rail there. I'm asking myself, is it worth putting one on the floor? But I think I'll do it to avoid damaging the floor. So, plywood at the back, plywood strips of 10 cm to prevent the organizer that's going to be on top from sliding too far back or too far forward. At least I can open it like this. See, it only opens this much, but that's enough for me to reach in and grab what I need. I don't need to remove it completely. If I want to place something else instead of the organizer, I can just take it off and there will still be a stopper. Let's remove the sides and do the bottoms now. I'm wondering if it's worth it. Should I add a shelf here? Right now I have a box and I could stack a second and third on top. The organizer, well, I'll see how I organize myself. Otherwise, I'll have to take everything out as it is now. And then, well, it's easy. They're Milwaukee pack out. For those who know, you see, it slides well enough. And if I need to clip them, I can clip them. I'm considering if adding another shelf is worth it. We'll see. Alright, for the cabinets, we've made good progress. We have two of them. I'm missing the top shelf, which we'll attach last. For now, I'm going to focus on attaching it to the tie-down rails, but the shelf will screw it on top so I can easily remove it. To access the tie-down rails, we'll put 10 senior plywood strips that will serve as stops and reinforcement for the shelf to prevent it from sagging, so the tie-down rail. We're going to attach it, so I'll remove this one, I'll put one here and one there, same thing. For the other box, we're going to cut the ring, we'll screw it directly, so we'll go to where the ring is, a screw directly through both layers of plywood. For this box, I mistakenly subtracted the plywood thickness for the bottom. I'm not sure why. For the other one, I placed it underneath instead. If this were for a client, I would redo the bottom, but it turns out the same. So, 2 layers of plywood for a long screw, or we could use 3 layers or a joist. Underneath, you put whatever you want. The idea is to use a screw that's long enough and go all the way through. You could put an eyelet just underneath a screw, a bolt for example, and then it's easier to unscrew. We could use the rings that are attached to the bodywork, make a hole with a hole saw in the bottom of the furniture and attach it to the rings. I don't think I'll need it. The tie-down rail should be enough, but if I later need the rings, I can add them. Like I said, just make holes with a hole saw and attach the rings. We attach the cabinets to the tie-down rail, then handle the shelves. The ring on the pin is cut, and a spring inside is secured by quickly inserting a screw to prevent it from coming out. Ideally, I wanted rounded head screws, but these are 4x-40 and I need at least 60, so I'm replacing them with countersunk head screws in 4x-60. We could enlarge the hole, you see. You just need to drill it out to diameter 5, diameter 6, and use screws that are 70 or 80 in length. But 60 works great for me. To cut the ring, I use the LTSB 422. It's a battery-powered metal saw, the new Muron batteries, and that's great because it cuts cold, it doesn't heat up at all. It doesn't produce sparks and isn't dangerous. And the cut is very clean, so as I was saying, it's not dangerous compared to a grinder that generates sparks. Discs can shatter, but with cold cutting, the blade works automatically without forcing it. I'm happy because it works great. No matter how hard I pull, it doesn't move. If I ever need to remove everything, I just unscrew the platform from the top. I unscrew it, take out the box, put it back, put the screws back in, or I move the pin and screw it back into the plywood again. No, that's perfect. See, it's just a tie-down rail and pins. It doesn't move. Next, we place the tabletop on, which will hold the boxes together. Should I screw them in like this? I'll put in a screw or two just to say they're attached, but for now, it doesn't move. Great, no, that's perfect. So for those who are wondering, yes, that's masking tape. Those are my markers. For the depth of the shelves, this one is less deep than the one over there, so I had to determine the depth. I based it on the edge of the floor that's here. I measured, I placed a ruler, subtitle Saint 501 subtitle. $501 detach it. Once we have reference points, we can measure each box's depth. For the covering, we cut all around the plywood a bit deeper. We make the 3 coverings, the 3 sides. Once that's done, we trim anything sticking out so everything is aligned. I organized everything my way and put items in boxes. My colleague can arrange them as he prefers. Milwaukee, you can stack more on top or bottom, it's deep, and you can fit both Milwaukee and other brand boxes next to it. The half organizers fit right next to a box and they touch the side, so they won't move around during transport. I know they use them a lot, so they can stack them on top of each other. The organizers, as he asked me, we can open them. There are 4 compartments. We grabbed underneath, found another box and a second one, both fitting perfectly in length. I still left a little space. You see, we can take them out easily, but at least they won't move around. And the stopper prevents it from coming over here. You see? So that's perfect at the bottom. Personally, I would put a removable baseboard instead of a stopper, because if we put a stopper, we'll have to lift this one to take it out. I would make a kind of removable stopper, but we'll see over time. Anyway, we can't do all the setup in one go. He'll have to get used to the box, the shelves, the slides, a removable baseboard. There's still work to do, and the key for the box is what will hold the Miliquis. Why not use DeWalt ones? Air systems. So all of that is going to evolve, and in this spot, I made sure to install an air system and that it holds. Between the box and the door, here, if I close the door, you see it fits. It's wedged between the box and the door. Well, mission accomplished. Actually a double mission, since the goal was to make the boxes, that's done. But also not to damage the ID Buzz cargo, neither outside nor inside, with the tools and the boxes. Scratches can occur, especially on plastic. Fortunately, I didn't damage anything, so it's ready for future adventures in great condition. I might see it again someday, but for now, I'll see my colleagues. He's picking it up soon. The compartments, of course, will need to be modified since he'll have to adapt them to fit his toolboxes. Right now, he has the pack out, the Milwaukee pack out. Maybe he'll switch to air systems only, or one day he'll switch to DeWalt. Well, we can make it smaller, bigger, cut it, do whatever we want. He'll need to adapt to the compartments and the ID Buzz, adjusting everything for his toolboxes. We'll discuss it again. I've had the ID Buzz cargo for 3 weeks now. I tested it for 3 weeks without using my other work van or my personal car. It's very comfortable, has great power, and I love that it starts automatically when you get in and shuts off when you get out. I'm especially thinking about couriers who spend all day getting in and out of vehicles to deliver packages. With this vehicle, you just keep the key in your pocket. It starts when you get in and shuts off when you leave. If they leave the door open, someone could steal the vehicle. At least the key is in the right person's pocket, giving them peace of mind. Another big plus is the 400-kilometer range. No need to stop at gas stations or wait in line. You just head home in the evening. If you need to charge it, you can charge it, or you can do it outside at a suitable charging station. It will recharge in half an hour. Well, in any case, I'm going to miss this ID Bus cargo. I love driving it. It's super comfortable. And the setup I made, I hope it gives you some ideas for your own utility vehicle. Since a setup can't be done at once, you need to adapt, make adjustments, re-add shelves if needed, insert slides, and tilt them to prevent movement in the utility vehicle. It's important to go step by step. We'll meet soon to continue, focusing on the room where I installed the water heater, which will be in the next video. Take care and see you soon.